Good morning. This is Dennis Miracle. Today I wanted to show you how I do my Quilt-as-You-Go, the joining of the Quilt-as-You-Go blocks that I'm digitizing. So let me show you what you'll need. You will need a piece of fabric of your choice, or to go with whatever your block is. That's here. It's just a jelly roll, piece of a jelly roll, and it's 2.5 inches wide by. It's going to go along this edge, the shorter edge, which is, what did I say, 9.75 inches. So this is about 11 inches long by 2.5 wide. And then you need one piece of fabric 1 inch wide that is also at least long enough to go on the shorter side of the block. So anyhow, that's the first things you need. And I have this neat little template cutter that's 2.5 by 12 inches, and one that's 1 inch wide by 24 from Martelli Notions in Pensacola, Florida. Makes it so much easier, at least for me. So the next thing we're going to do is, all right, here are the two blocks that I've made. Uh, this patriotic one, which really I'm not in love with, not because it's a patriotic, but because it just doesn't really go together very well. But I'm trying to use up what I have. So then I made this other one, which I think is prettier, out of reds. And so they're going to end up being end to end like this. So what you need to do is take one of them, and I've got this same used backing. I've got the backing the same as what I'm using the pieces for, the two pieces. Take your 1 inch piece and place it on one of the short ends. Place it right up against the end like that, and you can pin it down if you want to. So we've got right sides together, and I'm going to put a 1/4 inch seam right along the edge here. So let me do that and I'll be right back. All right, as you can see, I have put a 1/4 inch seam along this entire strip, and then you need to turn the block over to the front side, and you need to take your well, I didn't, I'm going to fold this in two like you're doing making binding, and I'll be right back after I get this ironed in two. So I'm sorry I forgot to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I have folded this 2.5 inch jelly roll strip in two, and taken the iron to it and have a nice crease. What you're going to do is, on the same side where you've put that 1 inch piece on the back, you're going to take this piece of 2.5 inch wide strip folded in two and put the raw edges. Well, where's my raw edges? Oh, I'm about to do it wrong. Okay, you see this is my raw edge side. Put the raw edges right up against the raw edges of the block like this, and then take and go to your machine and sew another 1/4 inch stitching line right down this piece of fabric on the front. So let me do that. Okay, you can see that I have sewn a 1/4 inch seam through here, and what you're going to do next is turn it back to the back side and take this piece and fold it where the right side is showing, and I'm going to take it to my iron, and I'm going to iron it down nicely so it stays in place, and I'll be right back. Okay, now what you're going to do next is take your the piece of the block that we just added the two pieces of fabric to. You see, let me show you. I ironed this where it is now. It has a nice crease to it, and this is what it looks like. Of course, you're seeing the wrong side of it there, which is what you should be seeing. You need to take your second piece of, you need to turn this piece over to the back, and you need to take your second piece, your second block, and put it, line it up, and, well, I'm a little off there, like always. Okay. And you're going to put back to back. This is the back of the this piece, and this is of course the back of the piece that I've sewed the two pieces of fabric on. Put them back to back and put this right up where it matches the edge of this little 1-inch piece on the back. So this is back to back. See, these are the back sides. So do that and take and pin these together, or use a clip. I use clips to pin these two pieces of fabric together, and then you're going to take this to the machine, and you're going to do a 1/4 inch right down this little piece here, and that will join them on the back. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I have sewed this. As you can see, I've sewed another 1/4 inch seam joining these two pieces together. And here's the back, and I'm going to take and just press this down. Okay, you see the little strip. I pressed it down, and it's nice and flat, and you're looking, of course, at the back of the two blocks. So let me turn them over to the front, and you will see that they meet up just perfectly. So you're going to take the front piece now that we sewed on and fold it over. Take this to your iron and iron this down. All right, I have pressed this down, and you can see where the join, where both pieces come together. If there are any imperfections here, you can see this more than covers the area where it's joined. I mean, obviously, if it's, you've got some problem right here, you've just got some problem. But you can see this fits nicely over, and I will trim these edges eventually. But I'm going to go to the sewing machine now and do a 1/8 inch seam on this side, a 1/8 inch on this side over here also. And after I do those two, I'm going to set my sewing machine for a wide decorative stitch, and I'm just going to come right down the middle here, just reinforcing the join. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I just wanted to show you this, how 1/8 of an inch on this side over here, and in the middle I've got a wavy stitch going all the way down, and I'm using a Janome 6700 this time to sew, and I use this little foot here, which it's got this little hole here. Right here is 1/8 of an inch from the edge, and then That should be a 1/4 inch there in the center, and I use this to do like when I attached the second piece, it was just wide enough for this little foot to slide right down perfectly along that edge, and then I'm used to do the wider stitch down the middle here. I use this all-purpose or zigzag foot or whatever you want to call it, and I've got my wide stitch plate, not my single stitch plate, but the wide stitch plate, as you can see. And this foot here, it just stays right. You put it right there between the. You can see it's right between these 1/8 inch seam lines, and it just goes right down through here perfectly, and you're guided by that. So that is how I attach these. Now I'm going to attach 5 of these at least end to end like this, and that's going to be my first row of blocks. And then when I get the second row of blocks done, I'll be joining each of them the way I've showed you today. And then when I have the second row of blocks, I'm going to do the same exact way I've done here. I'm going to do a 1-inch piece, this entire, whatever it comes out to be, 60 inches or so on the back side, and then I'm going to do a regular piece of 2.5 inch jelly roll fabric right along this front side for the whole distance across, across the whole distance of however many inches it is. And then when, of course, you've got however many you want to be wide, if you want to put maybe 5 of these side by side or 6 or whatever, then you just bind it like you would bind any quilt. And so everything, all of this, the ugly ends here, any problems here, all of this gets covered up by this sashing. So anyhow, this is the simplest one I found. It's not my idea. I got it off YouTube also, and I can't think of the lady's name. I believe I posted already the video or a link to it, but this is just my interpretation to show you how I personally do it, and I hope you've learned something. At least that was my intent, to teach something that I had found myself. So anyhow, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.